John de Vere, 7th Earl of Oxford, born on the 12th of March 1312 and who died on the 24th of January 1360, was the nephew and heir of Robert de Vere, 6th Earl of Oxford, who succeeded as Earl of Oxford in 1331 after his uncle died without issue. John de Vere was a trusted captain of Edward III in the King's Wars in Scotland and France, and took part in both the Battle of Crécy and the Battle of Poitiers. He died campaigning in France in 1360. Throughout his career, he was closely associated with William de Bohun, 1st Earl of Northampton, who was his brother-in-law. De Vere's military career began with service on Edward III's Scottish campaigns in the 1330s Second War of Scottish Independence. He took part in the Roxburgh campaign of 1334–35 and in the Summer campaign of 1335. Later in the decade, England's military efforts turned towards France with the beginning of the 100 Years' War. In March 1340, de Vere served in Flanders and was therefore out of the country during Edward's disputes with Archbishop John de Stratford. Oxford was not forced to take sides in the conflict and has been described as a political neutral. After a period in England, de Vere returned to the continent in 1342, where he served with Northampton, who had been made Lieutenant of Brittany. They both took part in the Battle of Morlaix that year. The next year, the two earls were sent to Scotland to relieve Lochmaben Castle, and in 1345 they were again campaigning in Brittany. Tradition has it, returning to England, their ships were forced ashore by bad weather, and the party was robbed of their possessions by the locals. In the summer of 1346, de Vere was campaigning with the king in Normandy and took part in the Battle of Crécy. According to the chronicler Froissart, de Vere was fighting with the Black Prince and was among the captains who sent a request to Edward III for reinforcements when the king famously answered, "Let the boy win his spurs." Oxford was also at the Siege of Calais, but reportedly fell ill in 1348 and did not take part in any major campaigning until 1355. In 1355 he was again in the company of the Black Prince and took part in the Prince's great raid in Languedoc. 19th of September 1356, at the Battle of Poitiers, Oxford was in command of the vanguard together with the Earl of Warwick. De Vere's attack on the flank of the French cavalry, with a group of archers, did much to secure the English victory. His last campaign was Edward III's Rheims campaign in 1359–60. Here he died, probably during the raid into Burgundy, on the 23rd or 24th of January 1360. He was buried in the de Vere family burial place, Colne Priory in Essex.